Mets over a 6-game road trip with the first of 3 against the Athletics. The former Yankee J.P. Sears will get the start for the Athletics.
You know, Sears has made 64 starts the last 2 years. He's taken the ball every 5th day. His only problem in this ballpark this summer, 62 home runs in his last 2 seasons. He's going to have to keep the ball in the park.
Lindor has an 8-game hitting streak going. His streak of leading off games with hits stopped at 5 on Wednesday.
Swung on and missed. Throws it by him, a fastball 94, and that's the way our ball game begins.
Soto had his streak dating back to last year of reaching base safely in 23 games, stopped on Wednesday when the Mets were shut out by Miami.
The infield playing him to pull, and Sears has back-to-back strikeouts against Lindor and Soto. 2 down.
I told you it was sizzling. I mean, J.P. Sears just making light work of $765 million.
Alonso flies one to shallow center. Blade coming on, but it'll drop in front of him for a base hit. Little dunker by Alonso for the first hit of the game. So here's starting Marte, elevated to the cleanup spot.
3-2 payoff. Ground ball deep in the hole, short, backhanded by Wilson. Jump throw to first, and they got him!
Oh, Jay Willie the magician.
Made something out of nothing. Jeter-esque from Jacob Wilson. What a play.
Griffin Canning pitched here as a minor leaguer. He'll get the start for the Mets tonight.
You know, he's faced a lot of these Athletics, 11 starts in his career, up and down in those starts, but we know it's a new Canning in a Mets uniform.
So it's Lawrence Butler leading things off for the A's.
And he got him. So Canning strikes out Butler for the first out. So here's Rooker, the Kingman-esque DH.
Swing and a miss. Got him with a cutter away. So Griffin Canning, well, he looks just rejuvenated.
And it's on the ground to Acuna. And so Canning has himself a 1-2-3 opening inning. Second inning in West Sacramento, California. Brandon Nimmo leads off against J.P. Sears. Nimmo cranks one to deep right. Butler throws back, takes a look, that's gone. Brandon Nimmo socks his 3rd home run of the year, and the Mets jump out in front 1-0.
You know, Gary, the first 6 games here, 18 home runs were hit in this ballpark. Now 19, the one by Nimmo, and this one was a no-doubter. A line shot.
That one didn't need any help from the conditions. Nope. Here's Luis Angel Acuna. That's driven down the left field line back toward the wall, and it's one hop to the fence. Acuna on his way to second as the throw comes in from Andujar, not in time. So the Mets with their 2nd extra base hit of the inning, and Acuna's 2nd double of the year. So Acuna at second with 1 out. Here's Luis Torrens. Did not start the last 5 games.
That's ripped down the left field line toward the wall. It is a one-hopper off the wall. Acuna is in. Torrens takes his place at second. Back-to-back doubles for the Mets. And it's 2-0 New York in the top of the 2nd inning. That was a laser down the left field line that ricocheted off the wall. The ball's jumping tonight in this ballpark.
Here's Andujar, who's batting .289.
It's Langoliers to work with at 3rd. He's trying to cash in and score their first run. And that's cracked to right, a base hit. That'll score Langoliers and cut the Met lead in half. It's 2-1 New York.
And Duhar gets a breaking ball, and he just slaps the other way.
Once he rips one on the line left field, Nimmo going back, jumps, and he makes the catch and tumbles backward. What a grab. It kept rising on him. He stayed with it. Stop, drop, and roll for Nimmo to get Canning out of the inning.
So here's Vientos with 2 out and 2 on after the first 2 Mets reached in this inning.
3-2 payoff pitch. Vientos gets it in the air to right. Butler coming on, slides, and he got it.
How about the Law Dog?
There's that Bermuda's Triangle down there, and it came back into foul territory, and Butler somehow, some way, able to make the catch for the out. Wow.
2-1 New York, still now in the 5th inning. J.P. Sears still out against Juan Soto.
That's line towards second, base hit going into right center field. Now Soto wins matchup number 3 with J.P. Sears. He's on at first to lead off the inning. And here's Pete, who's been on twice safely. A bloop single and a hit by pitch.
Soto at first and nobody out. Mets up 2-1 in the 5th. Drives this one out to left center field, back in the gap. Blade won't get there. It hops up against the wall and stays in play. Soto being waved around third. He heads home. The throw by Wilson, not in time. Pete Alonso with a 2-base hit to drive it a run, and it's 3-1 New York. He just keeps on raking. Fouled away some tough pitches. And on the 8th pitch of the at-bat, he drives a double to the gap.
You know, before the season started, I said Pete might be in a position to knock in 150 runs. People looked askance at me. It could happen.
Canning's been able to work at a lower pitch count tonight than in his first 2 starts. 4-pitch walk to Rooker puts the tying runs on base for Soderstrom. Canning making his 3rd start for the Mets, looking for his first win. Qualify for a win, he's got to get one more out. And he flies it out to left center field. Siri back in the gap, back near the fence, and he makes the catch right before he got to the wall.
And the Mets will hold on to the lead. Home run happy Tyler Soderstrom is kept in the park by a leaping Jose Siri, and that retires the side. Soto is on base again. So this is the Mets. This is what makes them so tough. Okay, you don't want to face Soto. You now loaded the bases. And here's Pete Alonso, who is arguably the hottest hitter in the game, certainly in the National League right now.
And Alonso pops it up into shallow right. Butler coming in, tagging at third is Siri. It's not deep. Siri's going to try it. The throw to the plate by Butler, up the line, and Siri tumbles over the plate with a run. Sacrifice fly for Pete Alonso. His 2nd RBI tonight makes it 4-1 New York as Siri sprints home. And the Mets now with a 4-1 lead. Alonso now with 17 RBIs. And now Starling Marte with 2 out and 2 on. And Marte drives to a deep center field, getting turned around as Blade is over his head and up against the wall. Lindor is in. Here comes Soto. The relay throw to the plate by Wilson is cut off. It's a 2-run double for Starling Marte, and now the Mets have created some space for themselves. They lead it 6-1 in the 6th.
And Langeliers back to second. 1 out, that'll bring up Jacob Wilson.
So Jacob quiet tonight, grounded into a double play, and then now lines it over Acuna for a base hit. Langeliers getting the windmill home. Soto loads up. The throw is late. And Jacob Wilson extends his monster hitting streak to 14 straight games to start a season, each with a hit. 15 dating back to the final game last year, and it's 6-2 Mets.
And here's Miguel Andujar.
That's clubbed to deep left. This one's got a chance, and it's gone! Andujar brings the game a lot closer. Now 6-4 New York. And Miguel picks up his first round tripper of the year.
And now the bases are loaded for Tyler Soderstrom. Back-to-back walks issued by Reed Garrett. Soderstrom hit one to the fence in left center field his last time up. Then Siri was able to track down with 2 men on to get Canning through the 5th. 0 for 3 today. 6 home runs on the year for Soderstrom. And Soderstrom laces one, but right at Soto, who makes the catch to end the inning. A bullet off the bat of Soderstrom, and the A's strain 3, and the Mets hang on to the lead. He does a single, a double, a sac fly, and he's been hit by a pitch. OPS stands at 1177. He's got 17 RBIs in the first 13 games. Driven in the air to deep left field. Back goes left fielder Andujar, and it's out of here. 4th home run of the year for Pete Alonso to put a capper on another big night for Pete. 7-4 New York. This is the best start to a season that Pete Alonso has ever had. He is just on everything. Edwin Diaz, who is 2 for 2 in save opportunities this year, will bid for number 3 as we go to the bottom of the 9th. Ryan Stanek and A.J. Minter each worked a 1-2-3 inning in the 7th and 8th. But now Diaz walks the leadoff hitter in the 9th. Brent Rooker has already been on base 3 times in this game with a triple and 2 walks. 2-2. Struck him out. Up and away with the fastball. And Diaz has the first out in the bottom of the 9th. Butler now at second with 1 out. And Soderstrom takes ball 4. It goes to the backstop, and that'll get Butler over to third. So now the tying run will come to bat for the A's in the 9th.
And the tying run in Shea Langeliers comes up to the plate with 1 out and runners on the corners. 1-0. Line shot down the left field line. That's going to get off the wall. Butler scores. Soderstrom held up at third, and Langeliers pulls into second base. Another double for Shea Langeliers. Drives home the 5th run, and now Blade comes up.
Out to left field. Nimmo gets in front of it, makes the catch. Tagging at third and coming in to score is Soderstrom. That makes it 7-6, but more importantly, Diaz gets the out, and the A's are down to their final out. So 2 runs are home here in the bottom of the 9th. 7-6 New York, and one of the hottest hitters in baseball, Jacob Wilson, coming to the plate. 1-2 coming. On the ground, Acuna in front of it, and the ball game is over. Diaz bends but does not break, and the Mets hang on. Another big night for Pete Alonso. 3 for 3, a homer, 3 RBIs, and the Mets piece it together and then hang on to defeat the A's 7-6.